Welcome to the BJ Show. Let's rock and roll. Rock and roll. Come on, everybody. Let's lose control. Brad and John, they're the ones to follow. Yeah, ready for the ride. It's the BJ Show. BJ Show.
John, are we trying to get back on the air here? What's going on? Do you hear me okay?
You are the technical expert, Brad. I mean, you're the engineer guy, and it looks like you did it against all odds this morning.
Yeah, once again, and you can probably hear from my voice, I've got a cold, I've got a sore throat, I'm all clogged up, I feel like poop, but the show must go on, and we have technical problems on top of that. Okay, so we're back on the air. Sorry for the delay. It's 7. Well, I won't give the time because nobody cares, because if you're not listening live, you'll just say, what time is it? Okay, that is John Combest, C-O-M-B-E-S-T. He's the guy that every single day puts together this list of all the important stuff you need to know about the state of Missouri, sort of like the Drudge Report for the state of Missouri. We start off every single morning with this guy. Comes into the studio. What's your name again, sir?
I'm Casey Kasem.
As my voice breaks up. And we start with...
In third place.
Well, Brad, we will save your voice today because the main one that we want to hear at 3 p.m. is a guy named Mike. Your buddy, formerly from Dave Sinclair, will be giving the State of the State address at 3 p.m. today. A lot of coverage lately, Brad, on what he might be talking about. And I don't think it's going to be a big surprise. He'll be talking about crime in St. Louis City. And as a teaser, he'll be talking about our story in number 2, which involves the Mexico border. But a lot of folks have a lot of ideas, Brad, about what he should be talking about, including the Post-Dispatch. I linked to an editorial today. You know, they want him to take a hard line against these video gaming machines that you see at your local gas station. Everybody's got an idea of what Kehoe should talk about. But, Brad, I think we'll mostly hear him talk about crime and economic development in the St. Louis area, and also immigration. And I would expect he would have something to say about pro-life bills that address Amendment 3's passage last year. So 3 p.m. today, Brad, you can stream it at mo.gov. And, well, frankly, that's probably about the only place you'll be able to hear it.
John, once again, I'm very disappointed in Governor Kehoe. I mean, I've told you this before, and I know you're a Kehoe fan. You're saying, Brad, everything's going to be fine. 2 weeks, man. He look at the example that Trump's been showing. I mean, the guy's everywhere. He's doing all sorts of stuff. What's Kehoe done? Tell me one thing Mike Kehoe's done since he's been the governor. One thing.
He's had a lot of meetings, Brad, with state legislators that you don't see because you're not in the Capitol. And I'm not in the Capitol.
John,
and if people want to hear our discussion about this yesterday, well, you can't hear it now. But someday you'll be able to go to YouTube and find our segments from yesterday. Brad, you talk about how well Donald Trump has done the first 2 weeks. That's a teaser for story number 1. But with 10 minutes left, maybe we should get into story number 2.
Well, John, just let me say this one thing. Okay, you said he does a lot of meetings. Okay, when you were a corporate guy, did you look forward to all those meetings? Did you look forward to all those meetings? Did you think, oh my God, we got another meeting. There's going to be all sorts of productive stuff come out of this meeting. Have you ever say that in your life?
I didn't look forward to them, but yeah. And to get to the heart of your analogy, yeah, I think Governor Kehoe could have gone the route of, as you suggested yesterday, he could have gone to St. Louis City and had a press conference, or he could have met with people who are actually going to be moving his bills through committee and voting on his bills, and having one-on-one conversations with the people whose vote he needs. But you know what? What does Mike Kehoe know about getting legislation through the Senate, being lieutenant governor, getting stuff passed through the executive? I don't know. I know he's brand spanking new to government, Brad. What would he know?
He knows how to sell cars. I know that. He knows how to sell ambulances. He knows how to sell conversion vans. You know, he's real good at that. Okay, on to number 2.
Up a notch to number 2.
One of those topics that the governor will be discussing is likely immigration. And there were a couple of hearings yesterday in the Missouri Senate involving controversial bills. One from Senator Joe Carter, who's from the southwest part of the state, would encourage states to continue to work together, share information, communicate among each other about their efforts to keep illegal immigrants out of this state or get them out of the state, and how to work with ICE better. Of course, they also discussed David Gregory's bill which has been maligned as a bounty hunter bill, and the negative impact that would have. We had some hilarious feedback from folks, Brad, including Senator Barbara Washington. Now, she's a black woman from Kansas City. She's not crazy about Joe Carter's bill targeting aliens, because Barbara Washington says that when her hair gets a little curly, maybe when there's like a little humidity, that she looks Mexican. So, quote, I'm scared to wear my natural hair now because of what's going on. So I think this is a good reminder, Brad. Maybe we should take a pause from the immigration debate and realize that sometimes there's black women whose hair might make them look Mexican. And maybe that's a good reason to pause this whole immigration debate.
Whoa. Hold on a minute. Who said when there's humidity, their hair gets curly? Who said that?
That's Senator Barbara Washington. Now, she didn't mention humidity, but here's her verbatim quote from the Missourian. I'm black, and for some reason this reporter capitalized black, which is not a proper noun. I'm black, and when my hair is curly, I look Mexican. So I'm scared to wear my natural hair now because of what's going on. And Brett, I think, you talk a lot about the law of unintended consequences. Maybe this is one of those unintended consequences is when we talk about illegal immigration, there's some black women that might feel that we view them as Mexicans. Maybe you and I could agree on the fact that that's something that Mike Kehoe should have done the last 2 weeks, is figure out the black hair issue.
Okay, man, I tell you what, so many things going through my mind right now. Isn't what she said tremendously racially insensitive?
To people that are mocha Java like you, yeah, I think so, Brad. And I think you should demand an apology.
So what she's saying is if she looks like a Mexican, ICE is going to come grab her and take her to Mexico. Is that what she's essentially saying?
Because, ICE has been so radically effective over the last few years in getting rid of immigrants that she has a lot to fear as a black state senator in Kansas City. She should be terrified. The ICE might come and grab her, Brad.
That's got to be one of the most ridiculous things I've heard in a long time. I mean, talking about racial insensitivity, God. Are we ready for, what was that, number 2?
That was number 2. And Brad, you're going to be, actually, story number 1 is going to make you please. Let's bring Casey in.
Okay, I'm having a rough morning. I'm sorry.
The number 1.
Brad, we got a playbook, from the swamp and predicting what the swamp is going to do to Trump. Now, Brad, you have praised, and I have praised Donald Trump for his fast action over the first 2 weeks. Congressman Eric Burlison from the Springfield area was on Mornings with Nick Reed on KSGF. They are on from 6 to 9 a.m. in Springfield every weekday. Congressman Burlison was on there, and Nick Reed said much of what Brad Hildebrand said, which is, hey, Trump has been moving so fast, it's hard to even keep up. There's one day of confirmations, and then the next day there's more big news. Like, how do we even catch our breath with this? Congressman Burlison brought up a great point, Brad, which is, and I'll paraphrase here, the way that the swamp is going to react is they might look like they're going along with this, but they're going to do swampy things as it relates to spending. So this isn't Congressman Burlison's words. This is mine. You could see a lot of the legislators, a lot of the Mark Zuckerbergs of the world nodding their head and saying like, oh, yes, there's been a shift. We're on board with Doge and reforming government. By the way, could we get an extra $30 trillion for Ukraine spending? By the way, you're right about everything, Mr. Trump. Can we get a little bit more money for nation building in Gaza? So Burlison's point is that the swamp will react as they always do, which is just pushing for more and more and more spending. So in other words, we won't see an aggressive pushback from some moderates on the Trump agenda, but we will see a push for more spending, Brad. I'd also flag, too, that Congressman Burlison points out the possibility for Medicaid fraud, which is, a topic that's been in St. Louis County government lately, and also addressed UFOs and UAPs. He sent a letter into the Trump administration that says, hey, while you're releasing the JFK files, maybe release a little bit of stuff about the old UFOs. What do you think of that, Trump administration? So Eric Burlison says he hasn't heard back from the Trump folks yet on that, but it remains to be seen if we'll hear more. So, Brad, the swamp is going to be swampy. They're going to push for more spending. And I guess that's just par for the course, isn't it?
Okay, it'll show my ignorance here. Burlison is a Dem. Or is he a Republican?
He's a Republican, yeah.
Isn't he saying sort of Democratic kind of stuff?
No, what he's saying is that the swamp will push back on Donald Trump by asking for more funding.
Man, I don't know. I think, who I think should be the on President Trump's cabinet?
Who's that?
Dave Ramsey. Because
yeah, he could just lecture some people on spending, huh?
Right, he'd just say, "Hey, we shouldn't have any debt. We shouldn't owe any country any money. We shouldn't borrow money from China. We shouldn't borrow money from anybody." And we should have, and like he does it, we should have the big envelope system. The big envelope system. You know what the envelope system is?
Does he have a gimmick where he puts a lot of cash in an envelope? Is that what he does?
That's what you're supposed to do. You have a little file cabinet or a little file thing, and you put envelopes, and you literally put cash in each envelope. And the idea being is that if you don't have the money, you can't spend it. So in other words, the idea being is you don't grab a credit card, you go in your envelope, and if there's money in there for night out with husband, whatever, you look in the envelope. Oh, there's $40. Oh, good. We can go to Applebee's and probably leave a nice tip and not have not buy any drinks or anything like that. And the idea being is if you don't have it, you can't spend it. Which reminds me of my doctor's visit yesterday. When I'm checking out, and I know this is sort of off topic, but maybe not, as I'm checking out, there's a sign that says, "We do not accept cash." Okay, what if you are a Dave Ramsey person and you go to that doctor and you're getting ready to check out and you got a couple $100 in your pocket and your bill's $100 and you offer them $100 in cash? What are they going to say? "No, sorry, we can't take it." I don't understand the no cash thing. I really don't. I get it why the companies don't want to take it because they're afraid that cash is going to get stolen or stuff like that. But aren't you disenfranchising a bunch of people out there by saying, and not only that, how about the people that are unbanked? Aren't you essentially saying to, if you don't have a credit card, then we don't want to do it with business with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think you're doing them a favor by encouraging them to get with the times. And I think that it goes to, a lot of these physicians places probably don't have a choice, but it goes back to, it's probably and I know that this is a disagreement that you and I have, Brad. I wouldn't want to be in the business where I was dealing with a bunch of tire kickers and people that want to haggle over a nickel here and a nickel there and say, "Oh, why don't you take cash? It's unfair. I'm unbanked." So deal with people who have some money, who are just going to write you a check or put it on their debit card or whatever. And I'm talking about in any industry, not just the medical industry. And stop dealing with the tire kickers in your life, people that are mediocre, people that can't execute. Just minimize their presence in your life and only deal with people who got their stuff together.
John,
if it's 2025 and you don't have your paperwork in order and you don't have something on your phone that can pay at the doctor, then you deserve to have to drive to North City to get your medical care.
Okay, John.
Stop clogging up West County and St. Charles County physicians facilities when the rest of us need to get in there and have our health problems taken care of.
John, you're a business owner. For a minute, you're a business owner, okay? Two customers walk in, and they both want to buy the same thing, okay? And they're buying high-end. They're buying like a high-end TV, okay? Let's say it's John's home video store.
Yep, and it's $10,000 setup. Okay, go ahead.
Well, no, it's $8,000. They're buying an $8,000 TV. One customer hands you a credit card, and you go, "Oh crap! Of that $8,000, I'm only going to see $7,650, whatever it is, because I'm going to get knocked for the processing fee." Okay, the other customer hands you $8,000, and you go, "Oh my God, I get the whole $8,000." Which of those two customers do you appreciate more?
The one that pays with a credit card.
John, do you believe in following the law?
No.
You don't? Because let me read you something I'm looking at a dollar bill right now. It says, "This note is legal tender for all debts, public and private." No.
And then who's going to take the $8,000 to the bank? Let's play out your hypothetical. Now, Brad Hildebrand is happy to get in his truck and waste 20 minutes driving to the bank and then clog up 15 minutes of the teller's time making small talk. And then get back at his truck and then lose another 15 minutes going wherever he's going.
John,
I don't want to put an employee through that, and I'm not going to waste that time in my car. So I would rather have a credit card and be on my way.
So you would rather lose the money?
Yes, I would. Yes,
You would rather lose the money.
To beat a dead horse, yes, Brad.
Okay, let's say a guy wants to buy a high-end car, and he shows up at your car dealership and he's buying a Ferrari and it's $300,000. And once again, he says, "I can give you cash or I can give you a credit card." Okay, let's take the ding on that. $300,000, you're probably going to lose what, 10,000, 15,000 in processing fees, something like that. You're still going to say, I'll take the credit card, right?
No, I will take the cash and his wife. And I only need her for an hour.
See, John,
And if he's in that industry, I mean, she's probably not very loyal to him anyway.
See, John, what's interesting about you is you are like a study in conflicts because on one hand you're this financial dude, and on the other hand you're essentially falling into the trap that's been sent by our banking system where you don't want to have cash.
You're right, of efficiency.
What's that?
No, but I would rather, Brad, here's the thing, and I know we're over time, but if I'm running that business, I don't want to run $8,000 to the bank and waste however much time that is in the car to drive to the bank. That's just the difference between you and I. You have very little regard for your time. You'll drive to Jeff City to get a license plate. You'll do those kind of things, which is awesome and quaint, and it fits your personality. I'm not going to drive to Jefferson City to save 20 minutes. I'm going to wait an hour in Wildwood and get my license and get other stuff done while I'm waiting there.
Okay, John. You and I.
And the true definition of tolerance, Brad, is recognizing when things work for other people. And driving to a bank and making small talk with a teller and wasting her time and then getting back in the car, that works very well for you. And I'm not telling you shouldn't do that. But for me, I would rather take less money on the end and then be able to stay in my store and manage my store in a hypothetical store that does not exist, rather than waste my time in the car. But you're an old-timey boomer, and I'm just a Gen X guy, Brad.
Okay, let's go back to the example of John's television store, and there's two customers buying. One of them's paying for cash, and one of them's paying with a credit card. And the cash guy says, "Look, I got $8,000 here." And the other guy says, "Well, you know what? I know John. John doesn't want to take cash, but he'll sacrifice some of his profits. John, you take his $8,000 cash and you give him that TV set. You're going to charge me $6,000, and so in other words, you're going to pay a $2,000 convenience fee to take my credit card." And John will go, "Yeah, I'll do that. I'll let you have $2,000 discount just so you can use a credit card, right?"
If you want me to say that you're right, you're right. I would buy that time, and I would pay somebody to take yesterday's show and upload it to YouTube. Because in the 5 minutes that we have been arguing this, we could have paid somebody to get our show up on YouTube from yesterday.
Okay. Clients out there, if you have cash, I will be more than happy to come pick it up. Don't pay me with a credit card. Don't send a check. Just pay me cash.
And has anyone ever purchased in the last year, has anyone purchased a radio ad with cash?
Last week.
I don't believe that at all.
Last week, I swear to God, last week.
Someone gave you cash.
Yes.
Ad on one of your
Yes. I mean, but see, why is that so hard for you to believe?
I don't believe. Was it Lance Drury?
No, it wasn't Lance Drury. No.
I mean, he fits the demographic of people, right, that might carry cash on him.
See, you know what, John? You're an ageist. Not only
I am an ageist. I absolutely am. Look, I have cash in my wallet, Brad.
Okay, so here's the scenario. Here's John's video store again. Okay, the manager comes back, and John's in the back room, and the manager comes back and he goes, "Oh, there's two guys out here who want to buy that $8,000 TV set. We've got two of them. One guy has cash, the other guy has a credit card." And John says to himself, "Oh, the guy with the credit card is a young guy like me. The guy with the cash is some old fuddy-duddy." So John goes out, and the old fuddy-duddy has a credit card, and the young guy has cash. And John's going, "Oh, my mind's melting down. What's going on?" Right?
That's exactly what would happen. Yeah, we call that movie Wicked 3. Wicked 2 has already been produced, but Wicked 3 is on the way. I would say I'm melting now. I'm the bad witch, Brad.
Okay, we have to take a break. We're way over. Actually, we're not because of the fact that the show got a late start, but we're pretty much at our 20-minute mark. Okay, see, my voice is a little getting better. I'm not.
You're welcome, Brad. We're getting you heated.
I'm getting my voice exercise. It hasn't broke up like for the first couple minutes like it did. Okay.